Welcome to Mesa Verde National Park in Colorado. Here's how to spend one perfect day in this park. Start your day at the Visitor and Research Center. There is a large museum to learn about the ancestral people that lived on this land, and there is also a massive archive which houses tons of historical artifacts. Mesa Verde is a very large park. Driving from the entrance to most of the primary sites will take about an hour, so plan accordingly if you schedule a tour. Take the main scenic road through the park, stopping at various overlooks along the way. We recommend then starting your day with Mesa Top Loop Road. This loop will walk you through the history of the ancestral dwellings as the style changed and they got progressively more intricate over time. Along the park road, each stop has kind of a marker that tells you when it was established, and you can kind of follow the timeline of the different types of settlements as you make your way around the loop road. The ancestral peoples moved from building the pit houses to then building more structure and tower walls with masonry and rocks to build up. This is one of the last mesa top dwellings in this area, and the inhabitants were only here for about 2 generations before they moved to the cliff dwellings.
This is one of the dwellings that is not the cliff dwelling style, it's more of the in-ground style that they built. They built these before they built the cliff dwellings as like a premature style of building. It's insane that they had to dig this far down to get their foundation and whatnot, which it said in the other building that was for the weather. For like winter, it was warmer to be underground, and then for summer, it's cooler to be underground. So that makes sense that they would dig in and try to get under the frost line so it's not as hot or as cold depending on what weather is like. I would say the depth of these holes are probably 8 or 10 feet, which is impressive that they dug down that deep. I'm sure this substrate is probably a decent amount of rock and dirt and clay and whatnot, so it'd be hard to dig that far down with basic tools.
Now we're moving to some of the first cliff dwellings. These are easily visible from the road. From this overview, you can see several different dwellings. Some are better preserved and bigger than others, but you can see remnants of several in different areas. A few more spotted along this canyon wall. Very cool. It's just crazy how many you can see just so close off of the road. I mean, we're driving this canyon wall along the Mesa Top Loop, and you're just passing dwelling after dwelling after dwelling. It's incredible. You also get a glimpse of Cliff Palace, which is the biggest cliff dwelling in the park and actually the largest in North America. After learning about the places that came before the iconic cliff dwellings, make your way to the next loop over to see what the park is truly famous for. To see the cliff dwellings up close, you do have to be on a ranger-led tour. These should be booked in advance online as they do sell out. But if there are last-minute tickets available, you can get them in the visitor center. Cliff Palace is the largest dwelling and also the most popular tour.
There's about 150 rooms, and then if anyone here knows what a kiva is, and it's okay if you don't, I'll talk about that later, but there are 21 kivas.
We recommend visiting Cliff Palace in the morning to miss the direct sunlight shining on you in the afternoon heat. The dwelling tours only run in the summer season, so pay attention to annual start and end times when planning your trip if you want to make one of these tours. Accessing most of the dwellings require lots of steps and sometimes ladders or tunnels too, and be mindful of the fact that this park is at an elevation of over 7,500 feet, so climbing lots of stairs and ladders is harder than it sounds. Balcony House is one of the other more popular cliff dwelling tours. It is considered the most strenuous hike in the park because of multiple steep ladders and a tunnel that you have to crawl through on all fours. We recommend doing Balcony House in the afternoon as it faces the opposite direction of Cliff Palace and is shaded in the afternoon. Well, we are wrapping up our time here in Mesa Verde National Park. We were very pleasantly surprised by this park. We didn't know fully what to expect going in, but there was so much history and so many cool things to learn. It's a very unique park, different from a lot of national parks with a lot of the outdoor nature and mountains and that kind of stuff, which there is that here too. There's some pretty canyons and just really neat natural landscapes, but the true heart of it is the Pueblo dwellings and just really unique sights and artifacts to see.
Yeah, I enjoyed this park. It had a lot more of the history with the Pueblo people and their way they did architecture and what they built, and over the centuries how they were able to develop their building techniques and different things, from the kivas, the holes in the ground, up to the cliff dwellings, and then eventually getting on top of the mesa and building houses as we know more similarly to what we have today. So it was really neat to get to see that.
Yes. That wraps up our time in Mesa Verde National Park. We hope you will come visit and enjoy this special place as well. Make sure you like and subscribe to follow along on our future travels.